You ever notice how the people watching you have absolutely no idea what's really happening behind your eyes? They see someone who looks exactly like them, waking up, working, coming home, maybe eating something mindless in front of a screen. To every single person in your life, you're just normal, average, forgettable even. But what they don't realize, what they can't see, is that while they're judging you by the surface, you're quietly constructing an entire world beneath their noses. An infrastructure of power so carefully hidden that by the time anyone notices what you've built, it'll be far too late for them to catch up. They'll still be explaining their dreams while you're already living in a reality they can't even imagine. This isn't new. This is ancient strategy. Centuries ago, there was a man who understood this better than almost anyone, Niccolo Machiavelli. He wrote about princes, about power, about the difference between those who appear strong and those who are strong. And one of his most dangerous observations was this: it's better to be feared than loved, sure, but you must never, ever be hated. Because hatred brings resistance. Envy brings sabotage. Attention brings opposition. In modern language, build your empire where no one's looking. Let your success speak only after it's already untouchable. The smartest move you can make is to seem harmless while you're secretly consolidating everything that matters. And here's the thing. Every single person who's truly ascended, from the merchant families of Renaissance Italy to the billionaires operating in silence today, understood this law. Take the Medici family. On paper, they were just bankers, boring ledger keepers managing other people's money. But underneath that mundane exterior, they were deciding who became pope, which wars got funded, which artists got immortalized. They controlled everything, and nobody saw them as a threat until their influence was already woven into the fabric of society. That's the kind of power you need to become. Not the loud kind, not the flashy kind, the invisible kind. The kind that moves through the world undetected, accumulating leverage while everyone else is busy performing. So if you're ready to understand how to build real wealth without painting a target on your back, without waking up the jealousy and interference of everyone around you, keep watching. Because what I'm about to walk you through isn't just about money. It's about becoming someone the world underestimates until you've already won. Let's start with the first principle, and it's almost embarrassingly simple. Look like you have less than you do. Machiavelli observed something brutal about human nature. People judge by what they can see, not by what's real. They confuse the symbol for the substance. So if you want to move freely, you need to control what they see. Drive a car that disappears into traffic. Dress like someone who earns a modest salary. Live comfortably, yes, but never ostentatiously. Because the moment you broadcast your success, you ignite something dangerous. Envy. And envy doesn't just sit there quietly. It mobilizes. It turns into gossip, into passive aggression, into people actively hoping you fail. It invites scrutiny. It attracts parasites. The modern world has convinced you that success means showing off, but that's a trap designed to keep you weak. Real power doesn't announce itself. It compounds in the shadows. When you get a raise, when a deal closes, when money finally starts flowing, resist every instinct to upgrade your entire life. The average person takes new income and immediately inflates their lifestyle to match it. Bigger apartment, nicer car, expensive dinners they don't even enjoy. They burn through the opportunity faster than it arrived. But the person who actually understands wealth, they keep their external world exactly the same, while their internal world quietly multiplies. Every dollar you don't waste trying to impress strangers becomes another unit of power in your private army of capital. When you spend to prove something, you lose control. When you save to deploy strategically, you become untouchable. It's that simple and that difficult, because it requires you to reject the validation you've been conditioned to crave. Power that hides grows faster than power that shows, always. But here's where most people stop. They save, they stay quiet, and then they just sit on it. They think the discipline is in hoarding. But Machiavelli had another insight that cuts even deeper. Fortune is a force that only yields to bold action. And in our era, that action isn't loud or reckless, it's strategic. It's surgical. The second step to building quiet wealth is understanding that money, when left idle, is dying. Slowly, silently, but dying nonetheless. Inflation eats it. Opportunity cost buries it. Every dollar sitting in a checking account is a soldier without orders, and soldiers without orders desert. The wealthy understand this instinctively. They move money constantly, not frantically, not emotionally, but with purpose, into assets, into ownership, into leverage, anything that multiplies while they sleep. In Renaissance Florence, merchants sent ships across dangerous seas knowing half might sink, but the survivors would return with fortunes that covered every loss 10 times over. That's diversification. That's calculated risk. That's how empires were built. Today's elites operate with the same rhythm. The moment capital enters their hands, it already has a destination. Real estate, index funds, private equity, tools of production. The goal isn't to hoard, it's to deploy. The poor cling to cash and watch it evaporate. The powerful circulate it and watch it return amplified. You need to train yourself to see money as motion, not as a static thing to protect. The second it lands in your account, it should already be moving towards something that appreciates. Because wealth isn't about what you hold, it's about what you control. But there's a deeper layer here that most people never even consider. It's not just about where you put your money, it's about where you put your attention. Every minute you waste scrolling through someone else's highlight reel, every second spent comparing yourself to people who are performing for an audience, that's energy stolen from your own creation. The modern trap isn't just financial, it's psychological. You're surrounded by noise designed to make you feel like you're falling behind, like everyone else is winning while you're stuck. But here's the truth. The people making real moves aren't posting about it. They're not explaining their strategy to strangers on the internet. They're not seeking validation from people who will never understand what they're building. They're silent, they're focused, and they're compounding while everyone else is distracted. Machiavelli wrote that a man who wishes to be obeyed must first learn to command himself. In this era, that self-command starts with silence. Financial silence, social silence, mental silence. Because the moment you broadcast your ambitions, you invite resistance. The moment you share your next move, you give away leverage. Your power decays in direct proportion to your exposure. So ask yourself, are you building quietly, or are you performing loudly? Are you letting the world think you're ordinary while your empire grows in the dark? Or are you still trying to convince people who will never care that you're onto something? Because here's the dividing line between the dreamer and the strategist. The dreamer seeks validation. The strategist seeks victory. And victory doesn't require an audience. Now, once you've internalized that discipline, the discipline of silence, of strategic deployment, of moving money before it decays, you run into a new problem. A problem most people never even get close to facing, but one that separates the comfortable from the truly sovereign. How do you make wealth move for you automatically, silently, without constant intervention? How do you build systems that grow while you sleep, that don't require your hands on every lever? This is where the second rule of quiet wealth becomes critical: motion without visibility. Your money, like your influence, must never sit still. Think of it as a loyal battalion. It has to be trained, deployed, sent to conquer new territory that expands your control. The difference between ordinary people and the elite isn't intelligence, it's rhythm. Ordinary people let resources stagnate. The elite moves them with precision. Cash sitting in your account is an army camped in a field, eating supplies, weakening over time. Machiavelli would have warned against this. He wrote that men forget the death of a father faster than the loss of their inheritance. Lose money through laziness, through inaction, and fortune won't give you a second chance. The disciplined strategist flips cash into appreciating assets constantly. Property, businesses, funds that generate returns without requiring constant attention. Anything that produces power while your hands are free. Look at how today's wealthiest operate. When Warren Buffett's companies generate dividends, he redeploys that capital immediately, before it even has time to settle. When Elon Musk liquidates stock, it pours into new ventures within days. They all practice the same Machiavellian rhythm. No dead money, no dead time. Wealth must flow through channels that gain strength the longer they're active. But there's another principle hiding beneath this, one Machiavelli hinted at through metaphor. He wrote that the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. You must be both, a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to intimidate threats. In practical terms, you need strength in execution, but stealth in exposure. And that's where digital silence becomes your next weapon. Unless your livelihood literally depends on public attention, unless your business model feeds on the algorithm, disappear from the digital battlefield where everyone's performing. Because power attracts opposition, visibility attracts weakness. Every photo, every flex, every "look what I'm working on" post. Every one of those is an open door for envy, imitation, and theft. The powerful cultivate mystery. They don't reveal their holdings, their partnerships, or their plans. They operate like shadows behind a curtain. In the Renaissance, political figures buried their true intentions under layers of rumor and misdirection. Today's elite do the same, just through NDAs, private accounts, and corporate structures designed to obscure ownership. They understand that when people can't measure your wealth, they can't manipulate you. That's why privacy is currency. Delete the need to prove yourself. Resist the urge to document your progress for strangers who don't care about you. The person who moves quietly wins twice. Once when they achieve the goal, and again when nobody saw it coming. Now we enter the next dimension of silent wealth, long-term systems. Machiavelli observed that the wise do immediately what the fool does eventually. The fool waits for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity. The wise commit to a plan that compounds over time, without drama, without excitement. In finance, that plan is patience through automation. Forget speculation. That's just gambling with fortune's favor, hoping the universe rewards your hunch. The real strategist builds through systems, index funds, ETFs, recurring investments that execute whether you're paying attention or not. When you automate your investments, you're creating a financial battalion that marches without your command. Your money works in silence every month, every year, acquiring small pieces of the empire while you're focused elsewhere. Think about the Venetian merchants again. They sent dozens of ships across dangerous waters. Some sank, some returned damaged, but the few that made it home brought treasures that covered every loss tenfold. That's diversification, a lesson older than any modern market theory. Today's millionaires follow the same discipline. They don't chase trends. They don't gamble on emotion. They play the long game, steady, unshaken, deliberately boring. The average person scrolls for excitement. The elite engineer boredom into profit. Patience, Machiavelli would say, is the armor of the ruler. Your role isn't to react, it's to command, to decide once, then let time obey your decision. But as your systems mature, a new vulnerability emerges. A single stream of income, no matter how large, can be taxed, frozen, or disrupted. A ruler with one fortress is fragile. A ruler with many cannot be overthrown. That's why Machiavelli advised princes to build multiple fortifications, each independent of the others. The same principle applies to your finances. You must create parallel streams of income. Quiet, independent, resilient. Because every additional source of cash flow is another fortress defending your sovereignty. If tomorrow your primary income vanished, how many strongholds would still stand? How many backup systems are you building while the world sleeps? This is the fifth principle of quiet wealth. Multiply your 40 years in silence. The person who depends on one job is like a prince who owns one castle, powerful until the first siege. Every paycheck you earn should be planting seeds for another stream. Side projects, digital assets, consulting work, rental income. Each one is a tributary feeding your private river of wealth. The modern elite understand this perfectly. Bezos didn't stop with books. He built cloud infrastructure, logistics networks, media empires. The Medici didn't stop with banking. They bought land, commissioned art, installed political allies. The true strategist multiplies frontiers quietly until reach becomes invisible, but absolute. You can do the same. Start small, an online skill, a local service. a single rental property, but build it as if it's the foundation of an empire. Every stream should function independently, so if one dries up, another flows. Over time, your wealth transforms from a paycheck into a system. And remember, one income is survival, many is sovereignty. But expansion without protection is suicide. Which brings us to the sixth principle: fortify through structure and silence. Machiavelli wrote that a wise ruler must build fortresses to guard his power, but also know when to hide them. In our age, that fortress is legal. An LLC, a trust, a corporate veil. Each structure acts as a shield between your wealth and the eyes that hunger for it. The rich don't keep everything under their own name. They build labyrinths of ownership so complex that even their enemies can't find the entrance. When you acquire real estate, form a separate entity for each property. When you start a business, use proper frameworks. Not because you expect attack, but because you prepare for it. The Machiavellian mind assumes betrayal as a rule of nature and fortifies before the storm arrives. The Rockefellers, the Waltons, modern billionaires, they all use the same tactics. Privacy and structure as armor. They operate quietly, but behind them stand armies of lawyers and accountants, invisible generals protecting the empire, and most importantly, talk less. Every time you speak about your plans, you invite interference. Machiavelli warned never to show the wound until you can strike. The silent builder protects his advantage by letting others think he has none. In your personal life, resist the urge to brag, to explain, to prove. Let your work breathe for itself. The person who talks too soon trades leverage for applause, and applause fades faster than you think. Now here's a principle that might seem counterintuitive, but it reveals the highest form of power. Give, but give in shadows. Charity done for applause isn't virtue, it's marketing. Machiavelli said that men love at their own advantage, not at yours. So when you help, do it without announcement. Anonymous giving protects both your humility and your leverage. It reminds fortune that you command abundance without worshiping it. The greatest rulers knew this instinctively. The Medici funded hospitals and cathedrals without signing their names. Modern billionaires use foundations not for fame, but for influence. When you give quietly, you build unseen goodwill. Invisible alliances that outlast any social media post. You strengthen your moral authority without triggering envy. But all of this, wealth, structure, systems, silence, can collapse if you're surrounded by the wrong people, because even the sharpest mind dulls among fools. If your circle thrives on noise and attention, your silence will suffocate. You'll be pulled back into performance, into validation seeking, into the trap of proving yourself to people who don't matter. That's why the eighth principle is critical. Choose allies who protect your secrecy rather than expose it. Every empire falls not from external invasion, but from internal leaks. One loose tongue, one careless friend, one envious peer, and years of disciplined work can vanish overnight. Machiavelli urged princes to keep men of discretion close, people who understood the value of silence, who moved with the same code. You need allies who don't boast, who don't overshare, who don't seek validation from crowds. The average person wants company. The strategic person wants alignment. Reduce your circle until only those who guard your ambition remain. Quiet people move deeper, think clearer, and stay wealthier. Because in this silent journey, not everyone deserves a seat at your table. And yet, even with all these principles in place, there's one final transformation that separates those who build wealth from those who build legacy. It's not just about mastering money, it's about mastering yourself. Machiavelli believed that fortune changes with the times, and those who adapt prosper. The ninth principle of getting rich unnoticed is this: keep evolving quietly. Power isn't a possession, it's a process. The moment you stop learning, your empire begins to decay. Surround yourself with people who are curious, not loud. Choose allies who measure success by growth, not by noise. Your circle should reflect your direction. If your friends chase attention, you'll drown in distraction. If they chase knowledge, you'll rise with them. Machiavelli called this the law of proximity. The quality of your advisors determines the fate of your reign. The greatest rulers in history, from Lorenzo de' Medici to modern CEOs, knew that their real power came from information, not image. So study constantly. Read what others overlook. Learn the laws of money, the psychology of influence, the cycles of markets. Warren Buffett reads for hours every day, not because he's nostalgic, but because he knows that quiet knowledge compounds faster than capital. Every new insight becomes another layer of defense, another invisible wall protecting your fortune. Avoid the temptation to chase new trends or jump from scheme to scheme. The impatient build castles on sand. The patient build fortresses on stone. The market rewards consistency more than cleverness. Machiavelli wrote that it's not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. The same is true for wealth. Money doesn't make you powerful. How you wield it does. You are the foundation, not the sum in your account. And this brings us back to the final paradox, the ultimate form of invisible power. The most powerful men often look ordinary. The true strategist doesn't need recognition. When you walk through a grocery store, stand in line at a bank, sit in a crowded room, no one should sense what you control. The real strength lies in being invisible, in knowing that your independence can't be threatened, your wealth can't be measured, and your peace can't be bought. To the world, you're still just someone who goes to work, comes home, lives simply. But behind those closed doors, you're orchestrating an entire dynasty. You invest, you learn, you build, you protect. While everyone else performs for attention, you're constructing something they can't even see. The loud crave validation. The silent build legacies. When you give, do it in secret. When you win, stay calm. When you grow, stay grounded. Because the more you rise, the less the world should know about it. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He warned that men envy those who rise above them, yet despise the arrogant. The solution? Play both roles. Appear humble. Live above envy. This is the art of hidden power. It's not just about money, it's about mastering perception. The less they see, the more they assume. The less you explain, the more mysterious your control becomes. Silence is your signal. Patience is your armor. The modern world screams for attention, but fortune whispers to the quiet. So when you find yourself tempted to show off, to prove something, to broadcast your progress, remember this. Kings don't announce conquests. They let history do it for them. The greatest victories happen in private. The deal closed in silence. The habit built in solitude. The discipline no one applauds. These are the invisible rituals that separate the wealthy from the restless. And as your empire grows, remember that fortune favors the disciplined, but only remains with the discreet. Protect your time, your peace, and your anonymity as fiercely as you protect your money. These are the true currencies of power. The person who understands this becomes untouchable. Wealth flows, influence spreads, and the name remains unspoken. Because the less they know, the more secure the reign becomes. Build it, guard it, and let no one see how deep it runs. If this philosophy resonated with you, if something in these words struck a nerve you didn't know was there, don't stop here. This channel exists for one reason: to teach you the hidden laws of power that are never discussed in public, the strategies they reserve for the back rooms, the principles that separate those who perform from those who dominate. Every video is another layer of the same ancient discipline, adapted for the modern world. Watch the next one, learn the next strategy, and start building the kind of wealth no one can take from you. Subscribe, not for motivation, but for mastery, because fortune favors those who understand her, and here you'll learn to command her.